Well, hello, my fellow gamers, and welcome to another episode of Building Character, a show where we take different role-playing games. A lot of the times we do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and we make characters for those games. And today is no exception. We're going to be doing another Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition build. We thought it'd be kind of fun. Leona, who's behind the camera right there. You can't see her, but she's right there. She took a picture of one of the miniatures that came out of one of the blind boxes, and we were like, who would you name, or what would you name this character, and what class and race and all that stuff would he be based on the miniature here? So we have the miniature on the rotator so y'all can see it. Let's take a nice close-up look. And he's got some cool items, so lots of fun options there as to what kind of character we're going to build. And we can give him a really cool background, like what is that shield, and that bow is ginormous. It almost looks bigger than a long bow. He's got a really cool quiver. If you look right here on the side, his quiver is almost as big as his leg. And then, of course, he has the sword there. So we have all sorts of cool potential items of note we can play with as well. So there we go. Hello, Hiram and Carrie. The shield's name is Steve, apparently, as Carrie, who in the Building Character Facebook group mentioned that she would name this character Hank. So Hank and Steve, they journey together. I kind of feel like this shield would almost be animated and really hates getting hit in the face. I think that would be a lot of fun. Let's see here. I've already shared it, so we're good to go. So let's start it off. What do you guys think? He has a sword of bending. It's got a face. It's all face. Yeah, that's true. It is all face. So let's go with right off the bat. What race? I mean, he looks human. So do we want to just go with a human? And what class do you think this character would be? Fighter, ranger, paladin? It could be a lot of things. What do you guys? So because what we do is we interact with everybody in the chat room because we want everybody to be a part of this build and building that background story. So it makes it very interactive. Hey, Becky. So Hank is being carried by Steve, or is animated like the door knockers in Labyrinth. Yeah, kind of something. That's kind of the visual I was getting with that. Fighter or paladin is coming from Hunter. Oops, had it backwards. I'm going to go with a half-elf paladin. That's coming from Carrie. As you guys might know, Carrie and I are working on a book called The Overstreet Guide to Collecting Tabletop Games. So make sure you guys check that out. Let's see what we got here.
Kyle says, I think he's a fighter.
Kyle's probably right. So we have fighter or paladin on the table. So I'm going to go ahead and roll a d6. Got a trusty d6 here. Odd, it's fighter. Even, it's a paladin. Here we go. Odd, fighter. So we'll write that on here. Fighter. And I'll put it on this other sheet here as well.
Thomas says, from the looks of it, Steve has a beard on. Had a beard on a previous piece of equipment that he was featured on.
Oh, let's take a closer look here. Steve could have, yeah. He's got one of those like chin strap beards, kind of like who's the main villain right now on Black Lightning? Whale, Tobias Whale. It's got like this chin strap beard. Carrie says the shield is inhabited by the spirit of Hank's brother, Steve, clearly extremely elven names, who had been cursed by an evil warlock for trespassing. Hank and Steve are very... So is that what we're going with, everybody? Let's get some thumbs up or just some excitement in the chat. If we're going to go with the fighter's name is Hank, the shield embodies his brother Steve, and is sentient and talks and all that stuff, is animated. So is that what we want to go with? Hank, Carrie, and Steve? because
we're getting lots of likes.
he needs a Triforce. Yes, a Triforce. The shield is his brother, possible mimic. That's kind of neat. All right, so I guess Hank is this character's name. What would be his last name? I mean, Carrie says Hank and Steve are very elven names. So what would be their last names? What do you guys think? I'm going to write that in equipment. She's got the shield. Hank has a shield, a.k.a. Steve. We're going to have to give that shield some stats. Carrie says, look, I know what I'm doing 100%. The shield, Elathem, Brooks, Hank Brooks, and Steve Brooks. Let's go with Hank Elathem Brooks and Steve Elathem Brooks. We'll take both of them. Elathem Brooks. All right. And they're half elven. Okay. So let's get to the important part. As we all know, we got to get them stats down. And I'm going to roll 4d6. And I'm going to take the highest 3. No rerolls of any other stats. And we will place them where we want them. So I'll just write them down. Then we'll put them where they best fit. Thomas says, I need more backstory on Hank now. He's too mysterious at this point. He's very mysterious.
It's true.
Very. All right, here we go. First stat. Let's see what we got there. Ooh, 9. So we got a 10. All right. Yeah, we're going to have to come up with some cool backstory on this character. All right. Next stat is a 14. That's not bad. All right, next. I feel like our fighter here, Hank, the half-elf, is going to have a very interesting backstory. I'm going to have to re-roll this one that didn't drop out. Doesn't matter. 12. All right. So Hank is going to be. Let's get a closer look at Hank there. Thanks, Hunter. So we can see Hank. That's the character we're building, everybody, based on that mini. The dice didn't drop out again. All right. 8, 13. And 2 more rolls, and we'll have our stats. Yeah, these dice are actually for another board game called Sentient by Renegade Game Studios, but I really like them they just look cool. And that spot is killing me. 16. And the last one here is 13. So not bad. Pretty well-rounded character. He looks like a dex fighter to you. Yeah, he does have that big old bow on his back, and he could be a dex fighter. Let's figure it out. So our top stat, and he is a fighter, is a 16. And do we want him to be a strength fighter or a dex fighter? That's up to you guys. So let me know if you just drop that in there in the chat. Dex or strength is old Hank here gonna be? I still can't believe that Carrie's name got through. Make sure the shield has extremely high charisma, but Hank shouldn't. Let the shield talk for him. That's a good one, Carrie. Dang it, you and your good ideas. All right. So what do you guys think? 16? Yeah, nothing below 12. So he's a pretty decent character. I mean, I almost feel like once he would be all said and done with this character, he'd probably be like a 5th level or 5th to 7th, because he's carrying some pretty decent loot. Even though the shield is technically his brother, we're gonna have to come up with a whole backstory as to how that shield became this thing.
2 people say Dex.
All right. 2 people say Dex, and Dex it is. So 16 dexterity, which is amazing. And then I would say the next highest stat is a 14. We'll put that in Constitution, so he has the ability to take some hits. What do you guys think? Dex or Strength or Con on the next high stat? Because we all know that his Charisma will be a 10 because that's his lowest stat.
Kevin says 16 for Strength and 14 Dex.
And 14 Dex. All right. Well, we still have 3 on the Dex. Dex, Con, Strength. Okay. Con 14. So that puts a 13 Strength. So do we want him to be wise or intelligent? Because we have a 12 and a 13. Not that that's a huge gapping in anything, but a 12 or a 13. What do you guys think? Smart or wise? Because I don't know. Is he smart for carrying the shield with his brother's soul in it, or wise for doing that?
I think he's wise.
Okay, yeah. Carrie says his brother got turned into a shield. These boys clearly are not smart. All right, so 12 intelligence, 13 wisdom, and then we have our stats. I'm going to go ahead and fill out Hank's other sheet here real quick so you guys, oops.
People are saying the shield could definitely have high wisdom. Or why? Like the shield could be.
Yeah. I think the shield itself is going to need to have its own stat line as well. Because if it's going to interact, obviously we'll have a charisma stat to interact, intimidate, bribe, or all that fun stuff. There we go. Can we see all that under there? All right. Yep. There we go so far. Now, in the player's handbook, make the shield wise. The shield may have a high wisdom. His charisma is garbage, but the shield be smart and fun. Yeah, the shield could be... I think the shield could be the comedic one. Maybe that could be part of the backstory, that they were interacting with a very high-level wizard or something, or a dwarven wizard who makes magical weapons, and his brother Steve is a joker, a very comedic individual, or at least in his own mind thinks he's funny, and insulted the mage and was cursed to become a shield to his brother, who isn't quite as smart as he needs to be. Like be his brother's keeper in a whole new way.
Kelvin says totally not a ventriloquist. Kevin says they are bonded now.
Oh, I like that. The yin to their yang, they must stay together. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so ability score changes because of the race that we have as a half elf. Charisma score increases by 2, so the charisma will be a 12. So not too bad. And 2 other ability scores of your choice increase by 1. Wow. So my thoughts on that would be 17 dexterity and a 14 strength. Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, put this right here. We'll make those changes.
Kevin says, love this live post. So cool, you're actually reading.
Well, thank you, Kevin. We appreciate you joining us. Just to give you guys some, for those of you that are new, we have a lot of things going on here. If you go over to our Facebook page after this is all said and done, if you're a fan of like Star Wars Legion, the new miniature game by Fantasy Flight coming out, we are doing a contest where you could potentially win the entire first wave of product, all pre-painted by Dave Taylor and myself and a couple other guests on our other show, Painting Happy Little Minis. And our big mother company that we all work for here is giving away the potential someone could win a chance to go to San Diego Comic-Con with flights for them and a friend, round-trip tickets, airfare, 5-night stay at a host hotel downtown San Diego. So it's a pretty big thing, and you can find all that on our Facebook page at Game Trade Media. So check that stuff out. Let's get back to the character, because that's what we're here for. All right.
Jonathan said the shield is evil, which is how he got into that situation, and the brother is good, building on the yin-yang concept.
Ooh, and that's the curse. Even though he is his brother, he'd probably carry his brother around anyways, because that, again, the brother's keeper type situation, where the brother who is Hank carries the shield to break the curse, and Steve, who is the shield, though cursed and attached to his brother, now finds himself where before he was cursed, probably just let his brother take the hits and be, whatever, didn't really help him out in any of his life, and was just like a pest or whatever. But now he has to take and protect his brother. So, and that's, it could be changing him. He may have been evil before, but now maybe this whole process is changing him. There's a lot of cool story arcs that we can put in that. But yeah, we'll give him an alignment of like neutral evil, you guys think, or chaotic evil for the shield. But I want Hank to be good, so like neutral good, or so we got Jonathan says the shield is evil, how he got into the situation. The brother is good. Yep, building the yin yang. Kenny says Helm charged Steve to protect Hank at all cost. Steve died doing his duty, and Helm reincarnated him as a shield. Carrie says chaotic neutral on the. Yeah, let's go with that on the shield. Maybe he originally may have had some evil intent.
Gary says lawful evil.
Lawful evil. Whew. Very, very self-centered. Hey, James. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's very self-centered as the shield, because, like I said, maybe in his life he just worried about himself, didn't put himself out there to help anybody, the homeless, the downtrodden, the citizens, and let's say that Helm. Yeah, I like that Helm, the god Helm, which is a really powerful god in the Forgotten Realms, would possibly do something like that, where he would curse somebody, and maybe he did something very blasphemous towards Helm. So I like that. I'm going to put that on here as well, and put cursed by Helm to protect Hank. And we're building the shield more than we're building the character. So as far as the shield goes, as far as Steve goes, what do you all think would be his, like, the magical power that he would actually possess? Would it be much like a shield of, getting like a +2 shield, but it also would have to have, because it's such a cool shield look, and the fact that we're animating it and giving it a personality, not just +2 doesn't seem like enough. And I don't want it to be like super powerful, but I want it to have something else that could literally like go with this whole brother's keeper thing, or something that maybe Helm himself would have cursed him with. So, James, I did not get an opportunity to read your story on this character before coming to the table. So if you guys are able to, and if you're not already in the building character group, James, I'm guessing, wrote something on there in regards to this character, but I'm guessing his write-up is not the same kind of twist we're playing on here. So, but it's probably just as good. He's done some other write-ups that we've posted up that have been of other characters that are just, they're really good. So you guys should check it out. Man, so I want to make it a +2 shield, but we want to give it something else. What is the other bit of power there, or curse that we could put to the shield? So Gary says +1 to AC, and if Hank drops to 0 hit points, drops to 1 instead. once per short or long rest. Ooh. If Hank drops to 0 hit points, he drops to 1 instead. And then once per short or long rest. Have a 0 or negative modifier if it's evil, as it sabotages his defense. Well, yeah, Adam, so the twist to it is it doesn't sabotage his defense because it is his brother, and he's cursed to defend his brother. It's like, even if he doesn't want to. And we'll say that Steve was also very charismatic and utilized that in his selfishness. So he really valued his face. And so that's why it is his face that is the shield. And so he doesn't want to get scratched or dinged, but the shield, he has to.
James says danger intuition. He knows where the danger is coming from.
Kind of giving him a spider sense.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. I'm trying to think of, as far as like in a role-playing sense, you could tell that someone has evil or evil intentions, so you can almost like detect evil or in like a 60-foot radius. That would be kind of cool. I would actually go with that. And bonus to initiative, huh? Ooh. All right, I would give it detect evil, 60-foot radius. And the other side of that curse is he can talk. So he would, and he probably has no mind-mouth filter anyways. He'd probably be like, oh, great. There's a frickin' assassin from the Assassin's Guild over there in the right corner who's really got his eye on us, or our party. And then the assassin was like, what? Bonus to initiative. That's an interesting one. I don't know if that would fit to this, but because I'm also trying to think of a curse. Like there being a percentage chance that if the brother charges into battle, he may not be he may lose his dexterity bonus or something like that because he's got to carry this big hunkin' shield all the time, and or something. I'm trying to like really figure out how the shield protects him, but when he wants to do something where he's going to be offensive, the shield will sometimes like interfere. You know what I mean? He's like, no. You just got to stay behind the shield. Everything's be fine. I don't need you open it up for potential attacks. So what do you guys think about something like that? And how would you articulate that in this as far as like maybe he has an attack, a negative to attacks that would be considered heroic. A heroic effort. He will kind of slow him down, be like, whoa, that's a little over the top. I'm going to kind of bring you back down to earth or something like that.
Yeah, Carrie says, I feel like having a -1 to dex at least would make sense.
Yeah. I'm thinking either that, -1 to dex, or negative, like when you are truly, because you know when your character is going to do a truly heroic action, like charge into a front line of people, or charge a dragon to make sure that it attacks you and not your companions. Something like that. A true heroic act would prevent the shield to prevent you from being successful in an attack like that.
Yeah, Carrie says maybe like a 10% chance that the shield will interfere if he charges, which would cancel an action and force him to defend instead.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Hey, Rick.
Yep.
Can we call this the don't be a hero attribute?
Yeah, don't be a hero. I would almost put that in like flaw. A flaw with the shield is this character is don't be a hero. But he wants to be. I mean, Hank truly wants to be the hero that the people look up to. Unlike his brother, who just wanted to be the guy that, made sure his own belly was full and his own pockets had coin in it. He didn't care about, what everybody else thought, and he would do whatever he needed to do to get the things he needed.
Gary says a +2 to AC, but the shield can impose a disadvantage to stop him from attacking at the DM's discretion or on a number of times a day.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good articulation on what I wasn't able to friggin' put down right there. But yes.
Yeah, Gary.
I like that. So like 3 times a day, because that's a pretty standard thing 3 times a day causes disadvantages during an attack. Oh, that's good. At the DM's discretion, which could mean the DM would just be sitting there waiting for those acts of heroic effort to be like, oh, silly us, Steve doesn't like that, so.
James asks, can Steve move on his own?
Steve cannot move on his own. Again, that's the whole Brothers Keepers scenario is where Hank has to carry him, and keep him within, almost within arm's reach at all times, so that even when they're sleeping, he has to be able to reach out to be able to grab Steve if necessary. It's quite. It's going to be quite funny if you were to think about it. If Steve is in that shield and Hank is going to the inn or meets up with a bar wench or something and is like, hey, and goes back to the room and puts the shield down. His brother's like, hey, I don't want to see any of this mess. Turn me around.
He's up there just using Steve as a pillow.
Oh, no, that would be funny.
Gary says DM role plays the shield as NPC, I guess.
I mean, I would think that would probably be the thing. The DM would have to take this persona on because, as we all know, players. So even myself, I would be trying to do everything I can to make sure that the shield was to my best advantage, even with it having disadvantages to role playing. I would much rather the DM be able to throw that wrench in there at any given time. Which isn't to say that there aren't players out there that wouldn't meta it and they would actually role play it out, and it would be really cool.
Will Steve level as Hank does?
Ooh, that's a good question. Would Steve level as Hank? I would say Steve could have the potential of leveling, but he wouldn't really gain the benefits of the leveling until the curse is broken and he's brought, he's Beauty and the Beasted. He's brought back to looking like, the half elf that he was, this handsome half elf that used his looks to manipulate everybody around him. But yes, hear him. Steve can talk. He and just like the door knockers from Labyrinth, Steve's which for those of you that are just tuning in, Steve is the shield, and the shield. Facial expressions, the mouth moves. He can see. He's fully aware of his surroundings, and still values his appearance. So he still has that vanity flaw that he doesn't want to be hit in the head. He doesn't want to block his brother, and defend his brother when a warhammer's coming in and smashing him in his face. But oh well. But every 24 hours he reverts back. After a battle, he's going to look like bruised and everything. He's going to look like crap if he's taking hits. But after 24 hours, he reverts. The shield will revert back to a more pristine look, and everything. But man, during that time when he's wounded and hurt and looking really bad, I'm sure he's a pain to deal with.
Another person says, I like the disadvantage to attack rolls with the DM being able to call it a certain amount of times a day. I'd go as far to making it as it be a roll 2 d20 and take the lowest roll as the attack roll.
Now, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your name, Guptil. I'm going to go through that very last part, Guptil, because the rest of that's really awesome, but I can't pronounce it. So Guptil, I would say. Are you saying that, like, regardless of his any kind type of attack, he will always roll at disadvantage instead of up to 3 times a day? Because if that's the case, I mean, I wouldn't be against that. That actually could be a very interesting role-playing opportunity where every time you're going to swing that sword, and when you go to swing, you're opening yourself up to attack. The shield is always going to be like whoa, 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 and even though the shield doesn't want to be, it's just because of the curse, it has to be in defense mode all the time.
Carrie says, I don't think that would be fair.
Yeah, that's it. That would be, I mean, that's a heavy curse to walk with. Adam, does the shield lose its potency? That's a good question. And can the shield be destroyed in combat scenarios?
Can you explain our character again? Because someone just joined the stream.
Oh, sure. All right, so we're building a 5th edition character, a fighter, a half-elven fighter named Hank. So Hank is on the spinner here. We're referencing this miniature here that we put up on our Facebook page earlier today that Leona put up there, and everybody kind of was making comments on who to name this character. Went with Hank. So Hank is a fighter, half-elf fighter with a strength of 14, dex 17, con 14, intelligence 12, wisdom 13, charisma 12. All the dice were rolled right here so everybody could see them. But we're really focusing on his cursed item, which is that shield, which is his brother who was cursed and transformed into a shield and is cursed to defend his brother. And so everybody's really focused on the shield, which is awesome because it really adds to a cool background and story arc and role-playing opportunity with this character. So is Steve a patron for Hexblade Warlock? Just joined the stream. No, but that's kind of cool as well. Steve was the brother to Hank, who was cursed by the god Helm, and is now a curse item that Hank has to carry around. Vince says, could it be used as a reaction? 3 times per day, you can cause disadvantage on an attack that would hit, causing them to roll again. Ooh, that's a good one too. Carrie says, the shield has hit points and should be able to be killed, I think. Wow. I don't want to kill the shield. I want it to be a long-standing thing because he's going to always try to take those hits and absorb that damage. And all right, let's put it up to vote for everybody in the chat. Do you think that the shield should have its own hit points? And if so, can the shield be killed? That's heavy. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose. It sucks because I don't want to lose Hank and Steve now, and I would hate to lose Steve because he was doing the job that he was cursed to do. But that would be crazy. I'm trying to think too, as if, maybe the 3 times a day, not under the DM's discretion on the disadvantage rolls, but it is 3 times a day, but it would be, the DM would have to deem a situation as heroic, and then there'd be like a percentage chance that it does cause that disadvantage so that the character could still do heroic actions, but just knowing that there's a chance that this could count towards one of the 3 potential disadvantage rolls every day.
Gary says, no HP for the shield. It cannot be killed. It can be destroyed in some difficult fashion, like
an artifact. Adam says, instead of a hit point pool, have an AC pool that drops as it hits are taken. Once Steven is knocked out, becomes less effective as a shield. Oh, yeah, that's actually kind of cool. The shield itself could get knocked out, and in that sense lose his ability to be aware, unable to detect the evil present within that 60-foot radius, all sorts of interesting things. I would say, yeah, the shield itself would have an AC pool. I like that.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam. I really do like that one. And allow it to increase in level so that it could increase its AC pool and be a death saves and all. But Hank can definitely choose not to use the shield to avoid damage. See, that's just it. That's the curse, Hiram. The curse is that Hank can't not use the shield, and the shield can't not try to defend his brother as part of that curse. But once the shield is knocked out, the curse kind of negates during that time, and then Hank could drop the shield because at that point it's not going to give him any benefit anyway, and he wouldn't want, I don't know, he wouldn't want the shield to be destroyed if it were to take over the amount of damage that would be necessary to actually destroy it. I'm going to say HP pool / AC pool. I'm trying to figure that out later. AC pool. can be knocked unconscious. That's really cool. You guys, it's so funny is that the shield is getting more play and is actually such a cool piece to this character. Okay, again, for example, for every AC level, it equals 100 hit points. Oh, okay. Hey, Craig, yeah, the name of the character's name, the actual humanoid half-elf fighter is Hank Elathem Brooks, who is a half-elf fighter. The shield is Steve Elathem Brooks, his brother who was cursed by the god Helm to defend his brother. So Steve was a very charismatic, self-indulgent, and almost evil individual who got cursed by Helm to be his brother's protector because he never would protect anybody anyways. And in that, Hank is also kind of cursed as well because he has to carry his brother with him at all times. All right, James, have a good one. He's a half-elf fighter. There we go. That's cool. All right, so let's move past Steve. I know everybody wants to stay on Steve because he's awesome, but we got to get some of the stuff with Hank taken care of as well. We need to come up with. He's obviously, it looks like he has a long bow and a long sword, so we know what his weapons are going to be. Okay, but we got to come up with his different fighter class and stuff abilities. So there's some other good content being dropped in there.
Christopher says if HP/AC pool reaches 0, it takes 24 hours to reach full again, or it could be used to bash. Sorry, it could be used to bash to regain HP.
Yeah, he is a dex fighter. The longsword won't be good. He needs a scimitar or rapier to get max to hit. That's true. He does need a rapier. I like the idea of a rapier. Again, a rapier for as a dex fighter, which he is. You're right. He's a dex fighter, and the rapier is one of those things that a lot of every time I think of one, I think of like a Three Musketeer. Or someone that truly wants to, jump in and be heroic and be like, aha, and they, all the flourish and fancy of a dexterity fighter, and that's where the curse of the shield is like. It's like, I wouldn't think that a rapier fighter would actually use a shield. They would probably use a dirk or a smaller, and be a two-handed weapon style fighter. But the curse is he's got to carry this big freaking shield and yet still try to use his dexterity fighting skills. It's kind of funny. Oh, he's got to take the good shield master feat. Yes, that's true. That would probably fit very well with this. But I don't think he would do that, in that he doesn't want to use a shield. He wants to be that very much the what was the sword masters of Bravos, in Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
where they're very much like water. That shield just does not help that at all. All right. So he's got D10 plus con bonus for hit points.
Craig says subclass either Arcane Archer or Battle Master.
Oh, as he gets up there, yeah. Let's take a look at that real quick. Battle Master. Those who emulate the archetypal Battle Master employ martial techniques passed down through generations. To a Battle Master, combat is an academic field, sometimes including subjects beyond battle such as weaponsmithing and calligraphy. Not every fighter absorbs the lessons of history, theory, and artistry that are reflected in the Battle Master archetype, but those who do are well-rounded fighters of great skill and knowledge. That's not a bad one.
Chris says not sure if they have it in 5th, but it could be an Elven Thin Blade.
An Elven Thin Blade. I don't know if they have that in 5th edition yet. That would be a good one too. Man, the Shield Master feat is actually really good.
Thanks again, Adam.
Yeah, you guys got some really great ideas. There's also the Eldritch Knight, which is kind of neat. Arcane Archer is not in here. What book is the Arcane Archer in? For those of you that for Craig.
He answered.
Yeah, granted, this character has a longbow and arrows and everything is on the miniature. He may almost never get an opportunity to use it because the shield, the curse of the shield is that he has always got to have it. So, oh, okay, it's in Xanthar's Guide to Everything. Okay, which I do not have that with me today. But I will put that down there as a possible archetype for later on. Let's find out what his personality. So what profession or I'm looking up that stuff right now. Not that. So what class features would you guys think would be a good one here? Would we go with where are you guys at? Not the ability scores. What's the other little piece here we want to come out? We got to pull it up. You know, the other archetypes that you can put in here. Personality and background. So what background do we want to go with this individual? Because I almost feel like Steve would have a background as well. Acolyte, charlatan, criminal, entertainer. What do you guys think? Guild artisan, hermit, noble. I don't feel noble in this. Outlander, sailor, soldier. What do you guys think? Yeah, background. Eldritch Knight, and he can bond with the shield and sword, then Captain America the Shield. That'd be cool. Yeah, we need to come up with a background on this character. So what kind of background do you think would be the one that would best fit what we've been going with this? Soldier? Possibly, yeah. Soldier would be a good one. I don't feel criminal. Maybe for Steve. Steve might have a criminal background. That would be his... Man, that's funny. Steve is a criminal. All right, so soldier. War has been your life for as long as you care to remember. You trained as a youth, studied the use of... Yeah, I mean, I think...
Yeah, people are saying soldier.
I think Hank is a soldier.
Soldier for Hank and charlatan for Steve.
Ooh.
Craig says. Yeah, Sarah says Steve equals criminal, Hank equals soldier.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
we have
criminal...
an agreement for soldier.
Yeah, it looks like it's a landslide for soldier and criminal for... yeah, charlatan's also a good one for Steve because he would have been that one that would have like subterfuged everything to get what he wanted. So it could be a little bit of everything there. All right, so our specialty. Do we roll for his specialty, or do you guys just want to pick off the list here? It's a D8 for different options. So it could be officer, scout, infantry, cavalry, healer, quartermaster, standard bearer, or support staff, cook, blacksmith, or the like. What do you guys think? Do we want to give him...
Can we please make him a blacksmith? Because in order to repair Steve, Hank has to like go and like have the blacksmithing ability and just start like hammering like all the dents and dings out of Steve's face.
Sarah says just pick.
Yeah.
Where's that 8-sider? All right. Because that's not a bad idea, is picking blacksmith. Steve was a bard before he was cursed. All right, I am going to pick, I actually, Johnny, that's actually really a good idea, that he may have been a blacksmith but had aspirations to be a hero and hired himself out after his term as a soldier, blacksmith, to also do like some guard work, and that's where he had like, hey bro, I got this opportunity, we can go, and his brother's like, really, how much gold's involved in it? You know, yeah, let's do that. And then he just messes it up and they get cursed. But I want to see what we would have got on a die roll.
People like the blacksmith idea.
Yep, I like the blacksmith idea too. I rolled a 2 and it would have been a scout. And this character is absolutely not a scout. All right, background soldier with a blacksmith. Background. So characteristics, personality trait. Do you want to do again? It's a D8. I'm going to roll it, and if we don't think it'll fit the story or the background, let's see what else happens. Yeah, everybody's like blacksmith. Yes. 3. So as a personality trait, rolling a 3, it says I've lost too many friends, and I'm slow to make new ones.
That works.
It does kind of work. Like while he was training as a soldier and during his background as a soldier, maybe he would make friends with other soldiers that come in, telling them his stories as he's repairing their armor, shields, or whatever, weapons, and became very friendly with them. And it's like waiting for those new stories, and then they'd have a conflict, and less of his friends would return. Yeah, I like that.
Craig says if he keeps the shield on his back, he has eyes behind him.
That's true, but the shield would never let that happen.
And Gary said he's even lost, quote unquote, his brother.
Yeah.
Which that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's true. He has lost in the normal sense, but he's gained this voice and this conscience and this the annoyances. I think it would be a lot of fun. This character is going to be a lot of fun. The ideals that this character has, let's roll for that. It's a D6. A 4. He has the ideal that might makes right. In life, as in war, the stronger forces win. And he may have that, but I don't know if that really fits his character. He may feel like that because maybe through the loss, he sees that obviously these forces were stronger and we lost because we were weak. And maybe he feels that having been a blacksmith, he is strong, and through that strength, he should be able to be a mighty force, maybe. I also like the responsibility one here, where I do what I must and obey just authority, and live and let live. Ideals aren't worth killing over or going to war for, but again, he was a soldier. Maybe, there's a lot of play there. Maybe the ideal is not going to war is his newfound ideal because lost so many friends. Be good to one another, and war doesn't need to be an option. Maybe. What do you guys think? Which one do you all think is the better ideal for Hank? There's also greater good. Our lot is to lay down our lives in defense of others. Which almost that actually seems to be a better fit for this character, because he does want to be that hero. He does want to be the one that's known for, jumping in front of a carriage that's about to run down a orphan child in the streets that just stole an apple.
Phil says, as a soldier, he knows that such strength is needed to prevent the past losses.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of fits in the. Not so much to prevent past losses, but to prevent future losses through might and strength that he has to gain and put around himself. And so, the good thing about this game is ideals can be whatever you want them to be. I'm going to go ahead and put down that he does serve a greater good. That there are as individuals, as heroes, is to lay down our lives in a defense of others. However, I must be strong through might and strength to be able to prevent loss in the future. So we can actually double him up on his ideals. And I think that's a good one. We'll go with greater good and might.
Gary says, quote, I don't want to fight, especially not with my brother's face, but I must to protect others as I am protected.
Ooh, that's a good one. Gary, I think I actually might steal that and put that on there. That's really good. Very good. You guys are awesome, by the way. let's go to the next one, which is bonds. Bonds is a D6, and I'm just going to read them off, and we'll pick it from there. I would still lay down my life for the people I served with as a soldier. Someone once saved my life on the battlefield, and to this day I will never leave a friend behind. My honor is my life. I'll never forget the crushing defeat my company suffered or the enemies who dealt it. Those who fight beside me are those worth dying for. I fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. I'd almost put every single one of those as his bond. But I would take every single one of those and subterfuge it for Steve.
Yeah.
So soldier bond, I'm going to write this here. For the bonds, I want to put them all. So he's literally, the self-sacrificing defender of everybody. So, and he would defend everybody that he ever served with. So I'm just going to write all bonds for soldier. We are a band of brothers, yes. Now the flaw, besides this shield that is his brother as a flaw, the monstrous enemy we faced in battle still leaves me quivering with fear. Does this individual have some sort of PTSD coming out of his life as a soldier? I have little respect for anyone who is not a proven warrior. I don't think he would be like that. Because, again, if you can't defend yourself, he is there to defend you if he can. I made a terrible mistake in battle that cost many lives, and I would do anything to keep that mistake secret. Ooh. Maybe he, after seeing so many of his friends die, decided to pick up his hammer off the anvil and march out into the or he picked up the rapier that he had just finished from a soldier that he was expecting to come back but didn't because that soldier died. Takes that rapier and goes out to actually fight in the battle, and because he's there, he makes a tactical mistake that allows the enemy to defeat or crush a bunch of his friends again. And now he has that, battle memory. The monster that cursed Hank. My hatred of my enemies is blind and unreasoning. I obey the law, even if the law causes misery. No. I'd rather eat my armor than admit when I'm wrong. No. I like the idea. What do you guys think of? I made the mistake in battle that cost many lives, which could constitute towards his loss of friends, why he doesn't seek them or bring them into his circle as willingly as he used to, and that is something that he keeps a secret of when he's in a party of adventurers or around others. But here's the thing: his brother always reminds him. It's like, oh, remember when you did that thing where all those guys died, all those other people from our village died or whatever. That I think would be the best one.
Yeah, Craig said he's still afraid of what cursed Hank and guilt.
Yeah.
So that's part of the secret.
Yeah, guilt and secret. I like it. Very cool. And then
a mistake that he must atone for.
Yeah, and that's part of that whole curse, I think, is between him and his brother Steve, the atonement has to come with you couldn't defend through a mistake, and now you're, cursed with having to protect and defend each other and others. Being afraid of a monster. Mistake that he must atone for. Yeah, there's a lot. You guys got so many good ideas. Let's see what else. Now, one of the things I did want to pull out here is the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide, which you can get at your friendly local game store, as well as the other source books for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So this character, if we were to put him in the Forgotten Realms and in the Sword Coast, where do you think we would want him to been raised? What city? The map here, which is the Sword Coast, is pretty awesome. There's lots of good opportunities to put a character anywhere in there. So let's see if we can get a little bit of a close-up on it. But Craig says he has a character who fears chimeras. So there's all sorts of cool places we could have this character come from. We have Waterdeep. We have the High Moor, where lots of trolls. I want to say Candlekeep is in there somewhere. Baldur's Gate, I believe, is in there. Yeah, there it is. We're looking right. Baldur's Gate is like right dead center to the right along the ocean, right there. So I mean, that would be a good one. So there's lots of options. Where do you Waterdeep or Baldur's Gate? Yep. the two big ones. So there's lots of options. There you go. And I like that. Baldur's Gate. Yep. That's where he will have Hank come from, is Baldur's Gate. There we go. Very cool. Well, we're getting right up to the end of our hour, ladies and gentlemen. For everybody that watched, again, we really do appreciate it. We thank you for watching Building Character. Go to your local game store, become part of the community there if you are currently a part of a D&D group or a RPG group. Find out the local store has like a bulletin board, and you can set up some meetups and find a new crew to play with. It's a lot of fun to be a part of a community. And on that note, we enjoy being a part of your community and you being a part of ours. Last thing. Again, on our Facebook page over at Game Trade Media, we have 2 really cool contests going on. One of them is you can win the entire Wave 1 of Star Wars Legion from Fantasy Flight Games, painted by myself and Dave Taylor and a few others. There's also going to be some terrain pieces that will be added into that. So that's a really decent prize pack. And secondly, our big boss, Diamond Comic Distributors, is going to be giving a round-trip ticket, hotel, and passes for you and a friend to the lucky winner to go to San Diego Comic-Con this year. All you have to do is go over to our page there and do all the entries and stuff to get the opportunity to go. It's an amazing opportunity, and hopefully someone that watches all of our cool programming will win. And then when you're out there, we can all hang out and go play some D&D, because that's what I plan on doing at San Diego Comic-Con. They have an RPG spot. I'm going to go check it out. So on that, this has been Building Character. I'm Rick, and I will see you, hopefully, at the game store.
Thanks for watching Building Character. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new content.